together. Let the music guide you.
You are listening to an exclusive interview. ASOT, A State of Trance.
Hey, what's up and welcome to a new 10 questions. And this week we have the man that has just released Pure Progressive, his new mix compilation, or I should say album, because there's so much new material on there. Welcome, Orkidea.
Thank you.
So I have 10 questions for you submitted by the listeners of this radio show through social media. We're just going to dive in straight away. Hope you're ready.
Cool.
I haven't seen the questions yet, so I hope you're going to get out of this nicely. Epiphany wants to know, what inspires you the most when you create a new track?
I guess it's two things: going out to clubs, hearing music, really, dance music in the environment where it's created for, but also like just everyday life. It can be books, films, scenery, whatever. So I kind of try to combine those into the music.
Are you one of those producers that listens to a piece of music in a TV series or something like that? You hear a chord progression, you're like, I need to run to my studio right now and just put something like that into the DAW.
Oh yeah, totally. Like, and I've done quite a few, like One Man's Dream and Requiem for a Dream and Hans Zimmer's Time. When I saw those movies, I immediately just had to create something.
That's the best, right?
Yeah.
When you hear something like, okay, this inspires me so much. Nadine wants to know, what is your favorite track of your Pure Progressive mix compilation?
I would probably say that my remix of Deep Sky's Cosmic Dancer.
Yeah?
That was in the original was such a big track for me a long time ago, and I've been working on that remix for 3 or 4 years, fine tuning. So that's probably
Finally
special.
had time now to finish it.
Yeah.
So
So
I think my favorite of the album must be Your Way Out West remix. It's also one of those like, first time I heard it, I was like, wow. This is one of them. Swap Neil Mishra 18 wants to know, who or what inspired you to become a DJ/producer?
It was radio that made me do it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was a teenager and walking somewhere to my studies and hearing the first electronic music, trance, techno tracks, and it just blew me away immediately. And soon after that, I accidentally ended up in my first rave, and just being immersed with the music and smoke and lights and video, and just the mystery of just music continuing, like you couldn't
Non-stop mix.
Non-stop, and it just I was hooked.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Do you still remember what were those tunes that you were listening to when you were listening to the radio for the first time hearing electronic music?
Yeah, it was actually Opus 3, Fine Day was one very, and then Age of Love. The Age of Love was for me the track that got me into trance.
Awesome. That's nice to know. M. The Odd has the question, which artist do you most want to collaborate with?
Probably my, from dance music, my...
Doesn't say, so I just take anyone.
Well, then I'll take it to another space. Vangelis would be amazing.
Yeah, okay.
Like, he's my all-time favorite movie composer. Blade Runner soundtrack is a huge influence in my music. So yeah, I would pick Vangelis. He's super picky with doing anything, so the chances are pretty slim. But hey, you got a dream.
Aim high, right?
Yeah.
Are you a big fan of synthwave as well? Listen to your productions, like the synthwave kind of stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I try to bring a little bit of like movie soundtrack, a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of synthwave, and of course a whole lot of different elements from various electronic music genres.
Okay, and if you would have to name one person to work with in the electronic music scene, who would it be? You work a lot with Rich, of course. Who else would you like to work with?
I think doing something with BT would be really special. He's both as a composer and as a producer, and also as a person. I've met him a few times, and when I follow him in social media, he's a very super inspiring guy.
I'm pretty sure he would be up to doing it. I think he just did a couple of tunes with Mad Fax, and
loving those.
Yeah, so make it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if Brian, are you watching this? Probably not, but Orkidea wants to work with you. Do it. Okay, next one. Leop400 wants to know who is your music idol. Well, you kind of answered that already, but is there anyone else beside Vangelis that is a big idol to you?
Well, I would say that in my early years, Paul van Dyk and Paul Oakenfold were huge, and probably Sasha as well, hugely influential as producers, but also like the way they've been shaping, what is a DJ and what is DJ culture. Yeah. So they done so many things for the first time. So I have huge respect for them.
Yeah, I think especially someone like Paul Oakenfold, and they just created DJing, right? Or in clubs or in venues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that one. Tom Evans, 96, wants to know, what is your favorite track to close a set with? Good question.
Oh, if I would choose two tracks, one would be not from electronic music and one would be from electronic music. So Sometimes I've closed with something totally odd, seemingly, like Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World."
Okay.
Like when the rave has ended and the smoke is disappearing, and then maybe it's morning, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and people walk out, and then there's this sense of happiness and friendship in the air. So sometimes I played "What a Wonderful World," and
that's
it's just
awesome.
like, what a wonderful world is to rave with your friends.
Mm-hmm. And the last set before this whole lockdown situation, what was the last track that you've played at a rave? Do you still remember?
Yes, it was my last gig was Transmission Australia, and
that was a good last one then.
Yes, it was very good last one. Yeah. If it would be last gig ever, it would be a nice one.
Yeah,
I think it might have been. I'm not sure what the very last track was. Maybe Nana from Me or something else.
That's a good one.
Or Forward Forever.
Yeah,
that's a good message for last track as well.
Yeah. Wreck-It Ralph, 87. What inspires you while making music? So what gets you going in the studio?
Sometimes it's chords and melody. I often start with something I want the music to stand out. Yeah, it can be a sample. I have a lot of like Unity and now the Cosmic Dancer, and none of there's like some sort of vocal hook that inspires me. I want to bring this something which is not in the dance music, electronic music world. I want to bring that in there. But of course, it can also be just a sound, like a dirty sound. Sometimes I start with the bass line and that becomes the soul and heart of a track.
So you take one element and just start creating everything around it.
Yeah.
Nice. Next question, Kim Kotari. If you could go back to one gig and one gig only, which one would you play over and over again? That's a hard question. Holy shit.
Yeah, it is. And maybe tomorrow my answer would be different, but I would choose. I played once 23 hours in Finland. It was New Year's Day.
Yeah.
In Helsinki it started, and New Year's Day happened to be a Saturday that year. And the party started as an after hours party, 5 a.m. And then it continued all the way till 4 a.m. In Finland, you that's the longest you can have a club open back then. So and it was such a special event in many ways to play that long and to go through all different genres and vibes and so on. So that was very special thing that I will remember forever.
So 22 hours, it was already an after party. So there was a lot of people already there since the beginning of the night, I guess.
Yeah.
Were there still people on the dance floor after 30 hours of raving?
Yeah, there was some people who were there from the beginning to the end.
Wow.
And I'm not lying that there were a few people who, out of those 23 hours, must have danced at least 15 hours. So,
did you have any people that were there at the beginning? Then they went home, they slept, and they came back?
Yeah, a lot of those as well. Like, hey, I came back, and we had food, or you could buy food at the party as well. And there was some 1,700 people, and all the time some people dancing.
Unbelievable.
So
I can
also,
imagine. Yeah.
if there would be just one gig over and over, at least that would be a long one. So I could there's long to.
Well, you need some
experience.
breaks. You need some breaks in between those then.
Yeah. I had those long epic tracks.
So you can go to the
reserved for-
toilet real quick. And,
And also the beer, the first beer I had like half an hour before the ending. It must have been the best beer I've ever drunk. Like I thought I've earned these.
and your sleep afterwards must have been the nicest one also.
Yeah, I went home and there was like a zillion messages in my phone, and then I sat on my couch and I started answering these, and then 2 hours later I realized
Where am I?
I had immediately fallen asleep.
Nice. Next one, Penny Gibbs. What else have you got planned for 2020?
There's quite a few of the tracks on the album will be coming out as singles, so there's like a steady flow of new music from me. Also, me and my friends, we have this classical translations project we have been doing with Armada for many years with Lowland, and we have some hopefully special things happening with that as well. And then also there's some very nice gigs that would hopefully happen. Again, for example, in Finland, in Helsinki, there's a party in a church.
Okay.
It's the party is called Requiem for a Dream. It's one of the nicest churches in Helsinki. So I really hope we can do that one, for example.
I think last week we spoke to Factor B, and he said that he has a gig in Finland coming as well. Is that the same one or is it a different one?
It's a different one.
Okay.
But also both are in September. And in Finland at the moment the situation with COVID is good. So hopefully, I really hope that will be.
Fingers crossed, man.
Yeah.
100%. Last one already. Swapnil Mishra, 18 again. Loves your last single, That Feeling. Can we expect a new one after that or a follow-up? Well, you just created how many new tracks for Pure Progressive?
Yeah, quite a few. So
Quite a few. That's an understatement.
Yeah, those will be coming. And originally Pure Progressive 1 was supposed to be just like a DJ mix compilation. But then the lockdown came, and I had quite a lot of time in my hand, and it ended up being artist album and a DJ mix album. So hopefully he or she or something in between will enjoy all these new tracks.
I'm pretty sure, because I did. And I really loved your guest mix that you had on the radio show. And I want to thank you again for that. So that's it. That was the 10 questions. Wasn't that bad, was it?
Yeah, it was nice. And thank you so much for invitation. And it's an honor to be here.
Of course. Well, make sure to check out Pure Progressive Volume 1. It's an artist album instead of a mixed compilation, basically. Yeah. It's out now on Pure Trance Recordings, Pure Progressive. And we'll see you next time with the new 10 questions in the studio, Avira. And if you have any questions for him, just write them down here in the comments section and we'll ask him. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.